What's going on, guys? Fun with Knives here once again to take a look at my CRKT Ruger two-stage compact. Now, I know that was a mouthful, but this is a collaboration of Ruger knives and CRKT knives. For 2016, they got 5 designers working for them to put out a whole array of knives for the 2016 lineup. They got everyday tactical ones like this one, hunting and fishing. So I saw this knife in a lot of 2016 SHOT Show videos and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, but maybe not one I want, just because it looks beefy, it looks heavy, maybe not going to be one I would want to carry. So as time went on, I kept seeing it more and more and I was like, man, that's so cool looking, and here we are. I purchased it and I've been carrying it, and here I am giving you a review and telling you to buy it. Now, as usual, I'll give you some specs. We'll talk about the things I liked, a few things I don't really like about the knife, and whether it is, going to be a good purchase for you at $41. That's the price point of this knife. So keep that in mind. The blade is 3 1/4 inches long. This does have a 5-inch handle, and then 8 1/4 inches long overall. The weight on this knife is 6.66 ounces, so this is the devil's knife. No, I'm just kidding. But that is fairly heavy for a folder. Regardless of size, this is definitely a large knife in my opinion, as far as folding knives go. But 6.66 ounces is a little bit harder to carry than 4 ounces. Or less, depending on what knife you currently EDC at the moment. So, that is an issue to me in a way, but I can almost forgive it because this knife is so freaking cool looking. I mean, it's so tactical and aggressive that it's almost forgivable. So we move into the blade here. As I said, 3 1/4 inches long, which is a good EDC size, but this aggressive tanto is probably not the best EDC shape. Now, this blade shape is going to excel at those piercing tasks. That's what tantos are made for, and this is probably going to be one of the best at that, with this just blunt force behind it, real thick blade, and just a cool grind on it, hollow grind in each direction, and then a swedge taken out on top. The whole thing's got kind of a black stonewash finish going on. Maybe it's like similar to Kershaw's black wash, but hides your wear. Looks pretty tactical too. And you got the Robert Carter design, name of the knife, CRKT on that side, and then Ruger's logo here. That brings us down to deployment, which this is a manual action knife. So it's a flipper, push down on the flipper, and then the blade comes out. Because this does have a very large, heavy handle and very large, heavy knife, that if you get the right purchase on that flipper, the weight of the blade is just going to swing that knife right out. Now, if you don't, which is very possible with how good the detent is of this knife, I mean, I can't shake it out if I tried it, it's pretty rough to do that. You're going to get a lot of instances where you get that. In that case, it might be better to flick it to ensure you lock up this insanely thick frame lock. Now, I don't know if this is the thickest one in the world, but it's going to be hard to beat that in a folding knife, regardless of what kind of lock it is. I mean, maybe Spyderco's ball bearing lock or their bolt lock or some back locks are going to rival this knife, but there's so much steel locking that blade in place that I don't have any fear whatsoever that this blade is ever going to close on me. Even through the harshest task I can think of. Now, that flipper does, produce your finger choil here, your finger guard, and then you got some, fairly useless jimping up here. It's a little bit widespread and very rounded. So I'm not even sure why they included that. It's not very useful in any sense. But there is the slightest hint of a thumb ramp there. But I mean, you couple that frame lock with that finger guard and then just a large handle. There's so much knife to hold on to here, and it's very hefty, so it feels solid in hand. So even though we got one aluminum scale, this black anodized aluminum scale with these 3D cutouts, and then this side is all stainless steel, these are not gripping materials in any sense of the word, but there is a lot of knife to hold on to. So I am very comfortable with the grip. Now, I do love aluminum handled knives. Even though this is only one side, as we get into more reviews, you will see that some of my favorite knives have aluminum scales, because I think that material is nice and light, It's strong enough, and you can anodize it cool colors. Just a lot of cool qualities about aluminum as far as EDC knives go. So I like that they put one side in there to lighten the weight a little bit. But this solid steel side is just really the winning feature of this knife. Just such a strong lockup. And it's fairly easy to push over and get the blade back in its, normal closed position. Now that brings us to the pocket clip, which is 4-way repositionable. So every corner of the knife. And it kind of nestles in there. They kind of cut it out. So I really like the design of this pocket clip. It loops over. It's nice and simple, nice and thin. And I mean, the detention on it, like in your pocket, isn't that great. I mean, it's a little loose, but maybe I'll tighten it up and see if that helps at all. But that's just a cool design, and it's also got the same finish as the blade and the stainless steel handle side. Another cool feature about this knife is that it's open construction, and it's very open, so super easy to clean and keep maintained. The only thing really holding those two handle slabs together are obviously the pivot, and then this, I think this is stainless steel. It might be aluminum. I'm not quite sure on this, but what this material is here, this little backspacer that doubles as your striker in case you needed to do some hammer tasks or, break a car window to get out of a wrecked car or whatever. That's, nice and pointy, ready to do some work, and then they just put a lanyard hole right through there for some paracord. So overall, this is a very heavy, thick, tactical folder. And I'm usually an advocate for the things that this knife is not. Lightweight, utility based, and ready to do some work and be carried every day, and not have to worry about what knife you're carrying just based on weight. That being said, I'm definitely going to give this knife a recommendation for anyone who's okay with a heavier knife to carry around. I think this knife's awesome. It's so aesthetically pleasing. It's just a cool looking blade. Even if you're not even going to carry it. I mean, at $40 might be worth it just for your collection. Now, 7 out of 10 I feel is appropriate here. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. This was my review of the CRKT Ruger 2-stage compact. Now, stay tuned. I got another Ruger that came with this, another 2016 knife. So more knife videos to come. As always, like and subscribe. And thanks for watching, guys.